conversations because they want me to, in a sense, convince them that everything's all right. And then they get mad at me because the conversation ends the same way every day. Like, you got to get out. You have months, not years. And the people just aren't ready to hear that. They are fighting I've never seen people fight so hard for what is a miserable existence. And let's be real, 90% of us live a miserable existence. Probably not even 90. I would say 95% of us live an absolutely miserable existence. Do we try to make the best of it? Absolutely. But we are the most hardworking people on this entire planet, and we have nothing. We have nothing. Most of us live paycheck to paycheck. So I can't respect that you're fighting so hard when I know that what you're fighting for is nothing compared to what you have to gain. I know, and just compared to anything, like anything is better than your current predicament. Anything. Hayes said, I work better alone and behind the scenes. Me too. And that's how I get down. And that's how I am going to get down. Any major planning that's going on or anything like that, all of that is being done behind the scenes. And, any triumphs that we have, any, adversity, all of that will happen behind the scenes. It'll happen off of social media. At this point, I'm just coming on social media to continue to sound the alarm and to discuss the things that I'm seeing. That's it. First Lady of YouTube said, in New York, they're talking about another lockdown in October. Oh, October is going to be life-changing. I'm trying to help our people so that when October comes, there's still some of us alive that are straight, that are Black, and that know what needs to be done. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Everybody is like, I don't care. They got that attitude, and it's terrifying. It is literally terrifying. Okay, City of Truth, you keep coming back to my channel, and you keep saying the same thing, so you must love negativity then. Exactly. Hay said, F paying taxes, get it how you live. Just don't hurt no kids or old people. Man, I'm telling you, if there was some real B1 out there, we would be getting it, because B1 is whatever is necessary to protect the Black race. Separation is necessary. It's necessary. You got a lot of people fighting to stay where they're at. Where are you at? In an apartment? I know you don't have a house because it's called statistics. So the majority of you don't even have a house. So you fighting to be in an apartment. You fighting to pay rent to a landlord who doesn't look like you. Make it make sense. Whoever is the mod, please, because it doesn't show me on StreamYard. Ban City of Truth. That's my fault. Let me tell you why that's my fault. Because certain people block people.
Okay, she's saying ban me, but she's talking about people living in apartments. But does she own a house?
My mods, they block people. And then I always feel bad, and I let people out of jail like once a year. Once a year, I go to the little block list, and I let people out of jail. And I'm done doing that. Now, when you block them, I believe you, and I will keep them blocked. My view said, do you think the country will close again? Honestly, I don't think they're going to be able to close the country again. As crazy as that sounds, I think they're just going to keep on pushing vaccines until everybody's a goner. Because the thing is, when you, and this is what I was explaining earlier, when you vaccinate somebody, you vaccinate them in such a way that it triggers antibodies. But at the same time, the virus is mutating because the virus wants to live. So basically, when you vaccinate people, you make it stronger, which is what the virologist, the French virologist, was saying. We have made this stronger. We have, not we, but they have made it stronger by basically vaccinating. Keep in mind, as they were coming out with those jabs, it's alphabetical. It's in alphabetical order. So we're on D now, which is Delta. Well, actually, we're beyond D, but we're on G. I'm pretty sure Gamma is running around here somewhere, but it went in alphabetical order with the variants up till Delta, and will continue to go. We are making it stronger. Or again, I say this loose, not we, but they are making it stronger by continuing to try to vaccinate against it. And they know this too. This isn't even like, seriously. That's why I'm telling you guys the information. I advise that you look it up. Look up, what is the exact keyword? I think it's called mutant escape. Okay, that is when they vaccinate you and the virus mutates as a result of the vaccination, and it does not do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't necessarily block, it mutates, and then that mutation leaves the body. Delta, from alpha to delta variants. That mutation leaves the body, and through you sweating, through you sneezing, etc., you're passing variants. Okay, and that doesn't even discuss what actually happens with your DNA and the spike protein, because there's not even a lot known about the spike protein. But I will tell you that how they're able to delay things, because everything that's happened is just crazy. It's crazy how it unfolded. Whenever they say, oh, it's not going to be a big deal, it's not going to be that bad, it's always going to be really, really bad. It's always going to be really, really bad. They were saying, oh, Delta's not going to be a big deal, and now look. But see, people were listening to that because they're so brainwashed. First Lady of YouTube said, when these things expire this month and next month, so they're just going to throw them away? I don't think so. They will be sent to certain areas. Yeah, and they're probably going to be sent to homeless shelters, because we have a lot more people that are going to end up being impacted by evictions. We got some more evictions that are coming up, a big wave of, I guess, something's ending with rental assistance. So once that ends, at the end of this month, we're going to have a lot of people that are going to be, out on the street, which makes them more vulnerable to variants. It makes them more, you guys do the math and look at what's going on. We're not going to be around if we refuse to separate, and that's just the bottom line. It doesn't have to be all of us, but it has to be a good enough number. And I say that because there's a certain amount of people that don't want to separate, and that's fine. It's not worth the effort of trying to get them in. For what? You don't want to separate, and you don't have the mind for separation anyway, because if you did, you'd want to. So we don't want them. We're just trying to nudge the ones that do but need the extra courage. You know what I'm saying? And Jim said Biden's not extinct. He's doing exactly what Democratic presidents do. And don't get me wrong, neither one of them, Democrat or Republican, neither one of them are about anything, but he's doing exactly what they do. They talk all that mess, and they love kissing babies, and then they get in the office and they don't do anything. But they were never going to do it for us anyway. Because if you haven't learned something from years and years of listening to me, Aunt Jam specifically, then you should know by now that the game is not fair. It's never going to be fair. And that's why I'm so frustrated. And I'm ready to I'm doing everything I can to stay calm, but it's never going to be fair. You know, I hear a lot of intelligent people speak, and I agree with them, and they say all of these intelligent things, and then they say, let's go vote. It's never going to be fair. I'm telling you, since the 15th Amendment, you got the right to vote, and you scared them because they seen that you can easily overtake them. And you, the black man, would be the most powerful man in the entire world, because you would link up with Africa, you link up with South America. See, we forget these are all brown people. I'm not saying they're us, and I'm not saying that they're not racist, but at the end of the day, they're all brown people. So in a different world, had you taken your rightful place, had the game been fair, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. Because at the end of the day, what we're dealing with is a system that's not fair. What I need to know is what people are willing to do about it. Because at the end of the day, we had one generation that did absolutely nothing. And a second one of those generations, we're done. Game over. If this is another generation of nothingness, you might as well hang it up now. If you don't want to see the end of the black race, you might as well take your ticket home now. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Not 100 years from now. 100 years from now, Tariq's museum will be underwater, just like every other black community, black thing that we built. That's why I said I don't want to build anything. I'll move into a house that's already built. I'll move into a building, or wherever I move, it's got to already be built. I'm not building anything so that they can come and tear it down. You want to tear it down, you tearing down your own building for once. I'm not like these silly people that go tear down their own house or burn down their own neighborhoods. No, I go to your neighborhood if we burn anything down. You burn down your house. You burn down your city. I'm not trying to build another Black Wall Street. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not saying that there doesn't need to be another Black Wall Street. There does. But until we deal with our enemy, we need not worry about building. Not with any real lumber. Not with lumber and nails. No. We do not need to be talking about building with lumber and nails until we deal with our enemy. Because our enemy will put us all in prison and, or kill us, drop a bomb on us, whatever, and then there we go. Another city underwater. No, I'm a visitor. And I'm going to leave it at that. Anjam said, another thing, people reaching out to me, and the reason why I do bring up money, not because I want your money, no. Because I have my part of whatever we're going to do, but this is the whole thing. I'm not running a charity, okay? I'm not trying to do like the Black Panthers, and I don't knock it, because obviously, that was an important part of our history, and if we didn't see what they did, we wouldn't know, okay? And everything, a lot of what I learned about how to have a successful Black organization, I learned from the Black Panthers. And I'm not trying to, feed the homeless. And the reason why I say that is because, again, that's too public. Look at us, we're doing this. All PR is bad PR. I don't need it. I don't need it. I'm sure it can bring in a lot of people, and I'm sure it can make us look good. You know, it always looks good in the paper, and then, you know, the next headline is they're all dead or they're all locked up. I hear you, First Lady. Hayes said walled-in colonies. Nunya said, to an outsider, that sounds crazy. Then you look up move. Exactly. And they just glossed over it like it was nothing. The bottom line is they're not going to play fair. They're not going to play fair. So unless we begin to become more ruthless about protecting the Black race, we're dead in the water. Anjam said Prince Biden lied about eliminating $10,000 student loan debt. I wouldn't give you anything. If I was president, I wouldn't give you anything because you don't pose any threat. If I don't do it, what are you going to do? You know, and I'm not talking about if I was president of Black U.S., you know, Black whatever, Black R, you know. I'm talking about if I was president of the U.S., your success today, tomorrow, and 100 years from now will never be okay for them. It will never be okay. They have to keep you down. They have to keep you in that position, and they do not play fair. Now, because it's their system, they can always make it look fair. In other words, it's their system, so, you know, they create the rules. But if you tell them you're being unfair, they say, well, no, I'm not being unfair because here are the rules. But they wrote the rules, and they can change the rules whenever they want. This is why doing things publicly and wearing the shirts that says, I'm a slave trying to get away, doesn't work. Because they'll just change the rules. Oh, the slaves are trying to get away? Add this rule into the bylaws, slaves cannot get away. And then they drop a bomb on you. Hayes said one-term Biden. And you know, another thing, I wouldn't worry about Biden too much. Biden's the worst, the least of your problems, really. Biden is the least of your problems. Biden can barely talk. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Democrats are doing what they do. This is what they do. See, they talk all that mess. Obama did the same thing. People literally were worshiping Obama like white people worship the Pope. They were trying to kiss Obama's robes. Can I please wash your feet? They were worshiping Obama. And Obama was kissing babies. And Obama was going to get rid of school debt. I don't know if that was one of his things, but I'm saying he was going to change the world for everybody. The world was going to be a better place. The U.S. was going to be a better place. Everything was going to be better. He didn't do anything for us when he got into office. Nothing. Anjan said the fact they won't give even their white citizens continuous stimulus, they don't need stimulus because they look out for each other. Period. So they don't need, and they're all the way on code. In fact, you guys know that I don't want to say the word spy. You guys know that periodically I check in on the enemy. And I checked in on the enemy. And let me tell you, they're fortified. They've got resources. You wouldn't believe that they're pulling together resources. They're supporting each other's businesses. And in a couple months, they're going to start traveling to each other. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing for their race. What are we doing for ours? A says superior they claim they are, but can't work under the sun for 6 hours without burning and peeling like shrimp. Why do you think we call them rednecks? Red face. Ugh. First lady said the school started serving breakfast to stop the black people from doing, or the Black Panthers from doing it. They started the breakfast program in their neighborhoods. They didn't like the fact that black man was doing for their own. Yeah, exactly. You can't do anything public. One thing that I've learned from watching these people, you cannot do anything public because they will shut you down. And no matter how many times I say that to black people, they always want to back the most public group they can find because it makes them feel good when they put on a shirt, just like if you go all the way back to the UNIAA, if you go all the way back to Garvey, it made them feel so good. And if you asked any black person what their favorite part of the UNIAA was back then, they were all, you know what really got them jazzed up was the uniform. Oh, they have a uniform. And if I join, I can have a uniform. And then I can go marching down the street. I could go marching down the street. And so all the black people got on uniforms. This is a true story. They got on uniforms. They went marching down the street, which you can imagine terrified the white people, which you can imagine put them in a bad situation. Because now the white people are saying, the black people seem to be motivated and mobilizing, and we have to do anything that we can to stop them. And we all know how that ended. We all know that Garvey ended up back on a boat, banned from America, and then the black people sat around waving at him as he went. So obviously all that pride and all that uniform really didn't mean anything. Because if it did, you would have, that uniform, you would have been marching to war. And did we march to war? No, y'all waved to Garvey. Not y'all, but you know what I'm saying. They waved to Garvey as he went. Bye, see you later. Oh, and they love telling that part in the documentary. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the documentary. They love telling that part. And all the black people lined up with tears in their eyes, and they waved, bye, Garvey. What? Too much pride, not enough action. I personally think all black people should wear uniforms. You don't need individuality. You don't need to compete based off superficial things. You need to compete based off intelligence and who can get things done more. We're doing too much. We're being all creative and wearing all these little fancy outfits and all this stuff that we're doing for what? And you ain't got nothing. You know, but this is the same thing. We're falling into the same traps. Look how long ago that was. And we're falling into the same traps. Everybody want to be part of the shiny, oh, you know, I'm so proud. Look at, this is what I'm doing, you know. White people listen to everything that we do. They monitor us constantly. They're the number, I tell you guys, they're the number one stalker. And they do their planning behind closed doors, exactly like First Lady of YouTube said. Something that we need to do. We let them know our every move. Absolutely. Nunya said, it's an exploitation of white supremacy's backdoor code to our psyche, lack of validation and pride-based group belonging. I don't get it. I mean, I get what you said, but I just... Lack of validation and pride-based group belonging. You know, I guess it's like people that are missing a parent, and it's like whatever parent they're missing, you never stop wanting a dad or you never stop wanting a mom. I kind of look at it like that because in a way it becomes an addiction. Because I've had friends like that, you know, and I guess I've even experienced that a little bit myself. Because we always feel like there's one parent that maybe wasn't the best, I guess. And you have that, I guess, yearning. I don't know. that yearning for validation, but even a yearning for validation should wear off sometime after the millionth murder. You know, it's just brazen now. I don't know. Maybe my people are just cowards. I don't know. I don't know, family. I be in my head so much, especially lately. I just be in my head like, what do I do? And then I have to slow myself down and be like, you can only do what you can do, you know. But it's frustrating. And again, when I say maybe my people, I don't mean all those people that aren't, no, but you know, it's a lot that really aren't about that action. Hay said, I say stop talking to all white supremacist media. Frankly, the media needs to start taking L's. Oh yes, definitely. And that's coming. And Jam said, I was so frustrated seeing all the black men on social media crying. You know, I was disappointed because I was waiting to get that news article that said that the Olympics had record low watching, because I certainly didn't watch the Olympics, and I haven't watched the Olympics since I was young. The Olympics is nothing but propaganda designed to make you love America. That's why it was so, that's one of the reasons why it's so important for them to have the Olympics. That's a big piece of, you know, in the 90s, the Olympics was like the ish. You know, that was huge. You know, people dropped everything to watch the Olympics. You didn't have to ask what anybody was doing. Everybody was watching the Olympics. And you see where that got us. My view said, ISIS, I'm one of your biggest fans. Quit being pro-black. Get your degree. Get your money. Black people can't be saved. Look, that's sad. That's sad. I don't see any point in getting a degree. At the rate we're going, the planet's not going to be inhabitable. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was thinking about that today. I'm like, it's weird that all these people are still pouring money in the college degrees. And don't get me wrong, that's not to say that not everything you go to college for is BS. Not everything. But a lot, like 90%, 95% of it is. But the way this is turning out, half these kids, what are they going to have by the time they graduate? What's the world going to even look like? Half this planet is on fire, the other half's underwater. So I don't get it. Okay, it said master degree, jack of all trades, 100. Nunya said FBA is the new church house. He is leading those people astray and shaking their pockets for change in the process. They get validation for feeling like they did something. And in exchange, exactly, because that's what he's tapped into, the fact that black people don't really want to put in the work, right? They don't want to put in the work, but they want results. They want to be able to look at something. So he's tapped into that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, listen, you give me some money and you get to put your name as part of this. And then it looks like you're doing something, even though you're not really doing something, but it makes you feel good. And it's that feeling of validation. You know, a lot of people, that's how a lot of our people are. They want to pat themselves on the back when they haven't even done anything yet. I mean, literally, they haven't even done anything yet, and they patting themselves. Well, they talking about, when's the party? When's the celebration? What you celebrating for? You ain't even free. First Lady on YouTube said machines will be taking away a lot of jobs. Well, they're going to get the machines going now because they have to, because they're losing their workforce to the virus. So that will now become the reason why, well, we have to give these jobs to machines. You know, again, these are not businesses. These businesses are not, you know, they're businesses. They're not caring entities. They don't care about humanity. And that's why even black capitalism is not an answer. I have a lot of people that will reach out to me via email and stuff, and or social media, and they'll be like, let's do this. And it's like basically black capitalism. Black capitalism is not sustainable in any of its forms. Okay? Everything that's happening, the crumbling that you see around you, that is a direct result of capitalism. It's not sustainable. It will never be sustainable. Capitalism makes you say, go ahead and shoot people with a vaccine that we don't know much about because we got to get people back to work. That's what capitalism is. And that's what it will be. And black capitalism is a nightmare. You can be successful as a people and not be capitalistic. You can have better than capitalism. A lot of people can't see beyond capitalism and socialism, which I don't think socialism is the answer either, because it breeds too many problems. Another thing about socialism, it's too easy for other people to come in and disrupt socialism. So it doesn't really work. But there's more than capitalism and socialism, and most black people can't see beyond that because that's what's in their face all day. That's what's pushed in their face. Should we have businesses? Absolutely. But should we be capitalists? Should everything be based around businesses? Should the needs of businesses come before people? To the point you gotta miss your grandmama's funeral, and you know, you can't go to your kid's game, and you're always tired, and the best 8 hours of your day is not spent doing anything for you but going to a job. And then, as Hayes said, you know, you're paying taxes on your labor. And no, I abhor capitalism in all its forms, and I don't care who's leading it. I don't want to be a part of it. Anjam said, that is why I'm not even scared of any asteroid, meteor, or solar flare. Let the whole planet collapse, so hopefully the few black people alive can be free with the big nations falling. Anjam said, I saw Waffle House in South Carolina on the news channel that put up a hiring sign that says people can earn 4 stimulus checks per month at the restaurant. These businesses view people as stupid. Oh my goodness. Welcome, Positive. What gets me is that black people will fight so hard to hold on to these little horrible jobs. There's so many ways to earn money passively. It's not even funny. I'm not giving the information away online. I refuse. I'm not giving the information away to anybody that's not on what I'm on, period. But there's so many different ways, but they're so tied into this system. The only thing they can see is, I got to get a job. I got to do this. I got to do that. And when people are functioning on that level around me, of course I'm irritated. Of course I tell them about themselves. Absolutely. Because this stuff is not helping us. It's not helping us that you're going to college and getting brainwashed. Come out of college, all of a sudden you hate the black man, you hate the black woman. Oh, I guess that's a coincidence. Yeah, right. I agree with, as a matter of fact, was it Nunya or MG2? Somebody that recently said we need to stop doing every single thing that we're doing and do something different. I don't want to misquote who it was, but I absolutely agree with that. Hayes said, I will be streaming Professor Black Truth's just uploaded broadcast after you sign off. Woo! And Jim said the news quickly went to businesses crying about people possibly having to wear masks again, talking about it's going to hurt their small businesses. Screw all those businesses. I hope they all go under. I truly do. I don't wish, like an asteroid would hit, but maybe we got to starve people out. Maybe you got to starve to figure out what's going to go together, in anything that happens on that tip, because we'll look out for our people, right? We will look out for our people. So, yeah. So, hey, I'll hit you up after. But anyways, RP. I was gonna say I'm getting out of here. I might stay a little bit longer now. Welcome. Greetings, made again, live again, finally. Peace. It's beyond repair for some of us. Some of us are completely tied to the silly, as Dr. Ani calls it. Exactly. Yeah. Many senseless deaths have happened and will continue to happen. Senseless deaths for the children as well, because whatever people are doing, they're subjecting their children to it. Whatever belief system they have, they're subjecting the children to it as well. They did a lot of work on ruining the relationship between parent and child. I noticed that people don't really care for kids. They don't care about kids the way that they used to. And I guess if you went and you worked all day and you don't even get to see your kids, and then, your kids are learning complete crap in school. So by the time they come home, you probably feel like you're on two different planets. I don't know, but I've just been noticing that. That's surprising to me. People don't really care about kids the way they used to. They just don't. I mean, that's even evident by the fact that if I was a kid when this was going on, I know for a fact my dad would have got me out and he would have done whatever was needed, whatever was necessary. If it took his life, my dad didn't care. My dad waited for me every single day at the top of the hill with a shotgun. And if I was running late, he was advancing down the hill. Period. It was more than one or two times when something was going on and all of a sudden my dad just came out of nowhere and whatever was going on wasn't going on anymore. Whatever, that was it. So I don't know I don't know. The people today are just very passive. Just passive. I don't know what it takes to wake them up. You have that short window after somebody dies, but then a week later, they're asleep again. Oh my goodness. I don't know. And Jim said, and welcome, Alan. And Jim said, been under this continued prison, the global system, white supremacy. I would be at peace seeing an asteroid heading our way. I wouldn't. And I wouldn't be content because the odds are that I would die too. And I'm not ready to go. I haven't even lived my life yet. I can't even begin to live my life until I get out of this system. I'm a slave. And I'm not asleep about that at all. Like, I'm aware of that every single day. That's why I'm on YouTube all the time. I sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed a career in journalism because I didn't even pursue it because, of course, they do the background check and they want to know. Nowadays they ask you, have you put anything online that would be considered this, would be considered that, would be considered anything. That's why even when I made my channel, I shut it down. I couldn't take it because I was young and I was like, do I really want to ruin my career and everything? And then I decided that I would anyway. I know it's a lost cause. I have many people that tell me, they send me nice, they tell me it's a lot. I know it's a lost cause, but dang it, I'm gonna try to get out who I can anyway. All of us aren't comfortable being slaves. Some of us want out. Some of us want out. People are so desensitized. This this Neanderthal killed this black woman, beat her so bad that she was unrecognizable. I mean, just out of nowhere. You know, she's working her security shift. And I don't know if you guys have ever worked security. I've worked security before, and it's a horrible job. You're on your feet most of the time, just walking around and praying that nothing happens, because if something does happen, you're supposed to take a bullet for this company. You know what I mean? So she's working security, minding her own business, doing her job. Here comes a white man, knocks on the door. She cracks the door open a little bit. He busts his way in, beats her, and then strangles her to death. Nunya said, that's a powerful statement to state what you are, whether you want to be a slave, whether you deserve to be, whether you feel as though you can escape it. I know. I know it is. You know, and some people will say, well, you shouldn't say you're a slave because that's not this and that and the other. But that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. I feel like a slave because I am a slave. That's the reality. And it might be better to say something else. It might be more politically correct to say something else. But the truth is the truth. And there are a few people that maybe they don't feel like that because they have a little bit more comfort in this system, but it's all the same. Because when it really comes down to it, you ain't got so much comfort. You gotta play by the rules. And if you don't play by the rules, then you'll be knocked down with everybody else. And then maybe you'll know why I say that I am a slave. I am a slave. But I know that I was born to be more. Just like our ancestors knew that they were born to be more. I don't look at it the way that other people look at it. You know, a lot of people try to say that we should abandon our ancestors and not talk about them because they were slaves, and we should aspire to be more than slaves and all of this and all of that. That's an important part of our history that I don't think that we should gloss over. And also, this isn't my shame. You know, and so many Black people walk around with shame that's not theirs. Like, it's not my shame that I'm in this position. It would be my shame if I didn't fight to get out. And for everybody that doesn't fight to get out, that's when it's your shame. And you should feel shame because you're a coward. You know, but I don't look at me saying that, and maybe that's wrong, but I don't look at me saying that as it automatically becomes a life sentence. If I say I'm a slave, it automatically becomes a life sentence. No. But you will not normalize this for me. You will not tell me that my position in life is normal. No, it is not. I am a slave. That ain't normal. There's nothing normal about slavery. There's nothing normal about putting in labor and you barely got food on the table. There's nothing normal about being a good person and being treated like trash every day and having to worry about your children and having to worry about your family. There's nothing normal about that. And so the same way it probably irritates people to hear me refer to myself as a slave. It irritates me when people try to paint this picture. Oh, we're okay. We're good. We're better than we are. That irritates me. No, this is not okay. Like that's just the way I look at it. Like it bothers me when people try to normalize something that is not normal and should never be normal. Nunya said, at least they knew they were slaves, whether they took comfort in what they were or fought that system of enslavement. They had no delusions about what they were. We are slaves who think we are free. Facts. Facts. Welcome, Leotis. Glad to see you in the building. Glad to see you in the building. If you guys haven't done so already, definitely check out Nunya, Nunya Business. Check out Leotis, definitely. But yeah, this isn't normal, and it irritates me when I hear people that try to normalize it. They try to make it seem like it's not. Oh, it's not that bad. Oh, come on, it's not that bad. It irritates me, because we're not going to get anywhere unless we deal with how bad things are. And if some people sat back for a minute and let themselves really feel how bad things were, maybe then you'll be willing to change it. Because most people, myself included, I learned the most through adversity. I changed the most through adversity. If it didn't hurt me, if it didn't irritate me, if it didn't keep me up at night, I probably wouldn't change it. Just to be honest, whether it's my personality, and you can say, Isis, I don't like it when you do this. Well, if it works for me, I'm going to keep doing it. But now if it stops working for me, if it starts alienating everyone around me and it's no longer this or it's no longer that, then I might change it. If it begins to cause me pain, then I will change it. So I say that to say, stop trying to block out the negative feelings. I deal with so many Black people that are always trying to block out feelings. And that's why they can't stand being around me, because I'm a truth teller. And I start hitting that truth, and they're like, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Stop trying to protect yourself from the truth. Feel those bad feelings, and then we'll all be more than ready to do something about it. Trust me, when you allow yourself to live in that anger, in that frustration, in that sadness, because there is a deep sadness about all of this. When you allow yourself to live in those emotions, you'll be ready to do something. You'll be ready to do anything to feel better. You'll be ready to really get out of a situation. So many people are living in this system and living through this system, really.
Okay, now that's an example of somebody talking about a problem and not going to do anything about it. Okay. She just she got all these videos where she's doing the same thing, just talking about problems, not going to do anything about them. Just all negativity. And she's a very manic, depressive, seems like, type of person. And that's just what it is. Yeah. So I stay away from people like this and content like this. What is the value in it? You know, what is the value in it? There is none. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Okay, so let's do one more article. Okay. So we got hypocrite. Representative Bush wants to defund your police, while dishing out 70K on private security. Gowdy. Okay. Sunday Night America host Trey Gowdy tore into Progressive Squad member Representative Corey Bush, um, Democrat, Missouri, after campaign filings revealed she spent a shocking $70,000 on private security while publicly calling for reduced police budgets nationwide. Okay. Members of Congress are spending more money than ever on their personal security. Gowdy, a former GOP congressman, told viewers Sunday night, it's a tragic reflection of the times we live in. Members of Congress have been threatened with all acts of violence. Because of these threats of violence, members of Congress are allowed to spend campaign money on their safety. Safety is priority number one for members of Congress, as it should be. But what about you? He said in his opening monologue. Okay, Gowdy encouraged viewers to consider their personal safety as the country grapples with an unprecedented crime wave. Okay. Dan Bongino sounds off on the America's declining freedom. Okay, do you feel safe? Okay, wait, this is okay. So yeah, that's hypocritical though. Why you got people in Congress they want to defund police, but they spending thousands and thousands of dollars for their own security. So you gotta wonder, but they want to take away the security from the average citizen. So you gotta wonder about that kind of stuff, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and shut it off right here for tonight. That's been enough. Let me know what y'all think. Leave, comment, subscribe. Peace. Thanks for watching.